Thanks for your company. The details now. As part of our Defend Media Freedom campaign, we hear from veteran journalist Kwesi Pratt Jr., who says there's no justification for any form of attack on media persons anywhere in the country. My colleague Emefa Apau spoke with him in this interview.
News channel or multi-TV. It's our campaign on defending media freedom. And today, of course, some would say that there is no way you can talk about media freedom without talking about the likes of Mr. Kwesi Pratt. And we're privileged to be in his office today at the Insight newspaper here in Kokomlemle. And he joins us for this campaign. We are grateful for your time here on JoyNews, Mr. Pratt.
Hi.
Hi, Mr. Pratt. So we're just informing you about a campaign that multimedia is rolling out on the hashtag Defend Media Freedom. Would you say it's a little too late or is coming at an opportune time?
No, I don't think that is late, and I don't think that is coming at an opportune time. You know, freedom is something that we have to be fighting for every day, every hour, you know, all the time. So there's no opportune time, and it can never be late.
But do you think it is a fight that we can ever win?
We've won the fight in many respects. I mean, look, I don't think that you can separate media freedom from the freedoms that are enjoyed by citizens. You understand? Basically, what we call media freedom, the right of free expression and so on, are also freedoms that citizens have to enjoy. It's not just for media people and so on. And I believe very strongly that the struggle against colonialism was itself part of the struggle to enhance, you know, the enjoyment of media freedom. And if you look at all these obnoxious laws, the laws of sedition, the laws of libel and so on, they're all part of the colonial heritage. You know, these were not laws which were introduced after independence. They were introduced before independence by the colonial administration. So we need to strengthen this fight, you know, for everybody to be able to express themselves freely. And it's in this same vein that I also think that infractions by the media do not justify attacks on liberty. I mean, I'm a journalist. If I write material that can be considered seditious or libelous and so on, it should not justify taking away of freedoms, you know, which would affect everybody in society.
Well, it's just taking us to the issue about responsibility and accountability that comes with the freedom that we enjoy as a media. But that will come up shortly. But I would first want to find out your assessment of the media in terms of the freedom. You've seen it all from the dictatorship regimes that we've had all the way till today. Of course, the likes of you, Mr. Kwekubaku, Harinata, Kofi Kumsin, amongst others, will be named when it comes to the fight for media freedom that we are enjoying now. But what will be your assessment as what you see now?
Well, I think we should all be deeply worried, you know, about the level of enjoyment of freedoms in our society today. And when you have a situation where a journalist has just been shot, that should be frightening. I mean, you cannot be praising government or praising any other institution for making it possible for us to express ourselves freely when somebody has just been shot, you understand? I think it's also important for us to understand very clearly in your own outfit. I mean, a very seasoned senior journalist and so on had to run away from the country because he was seeking safety. This is no time for praise singing. This is the time to intensify, you know, the struggle for freedoms for all citizens, for media people and so on. You understand?
Do you think that with all the struggle that we've talked about, what you've all done, even towards getting the 1992 Constitution, in which that media freedom is also enshrined in Chapter 12, for instance, do you think that as a society, as a people, we really understand the role that the media played in the freedom and the democracy that we have as a country as it stands now?
Well, first of all, I mean, sometimes I'm utterly shocked by some statements that are made by media practitioners. I mean, only this morning I've been reading in the newspapers statements made by media practitioners to the effect that if the media is not responsible, then the freedoms will be taken away. And this is an utterly irresponsible statement, especially coming from media practitioners. You understand? I mean, nothing justifies the limiting of the space for free expression. Nothing in the world can justify that. And I'm completely, deeply, abhorred when such statements come from media practitioners.
Do join the conversation as hashtag defend media freedom. That's our campaign to ensure a more freer space for media personnel to practice in the country.